takes him by surprise. He reigns. He reigns over every culture. We went into Guarani village called Itembenguasu. When we went to Itembenguasu, I had a Guarani guide. What we knew about it, it was an unreached village. They had never heard the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's about a 12-hour four-wheeling trip with our speed and light vehicle. And so we're headed in there with Emilio, my guide, and my son and I. It was always just my son and I first. We go to a new village. And we get in there, and in the Guarani culture, they have what they call a capitan. The capitan is the chief of the village. He says, jump, they say how high. That's the authority they have in the Guarani culture in Bolivia. And so we went there. To do anything, I had to get his permission. So we get in there, and I should say before we left, for 1 month, we had a group of young people Guarani praying over this village, that God would give us favor, that we'd be able to go in there and share the gospel. And so we felt like we had done everything right. We get there, we asked the Capitan if we could share, and he says no. Now, I didn't have a backup plan. I just four-wheeled 12 hours to get into this village to share the gospel, and he tells me no. I'm standing by the truck wondering what I'm going to do, talking to Emilio, our Guarani guide, and as we're standing there talking, the Capitan comes over, he says, I've changed my mind. He said, I'm going to let you speak today, and everybody's going to come. You understand what just happened there? You see, all authority has been given to us. Our God reigns. He just used Guarani culture for his glory, because when the Capitan says everybody's going to come, guess what? We had a captive audience. It was great. But they're curious about us. Why did these white guys come way in the middle of nowhere to talk to them? And they're curious about English. They wanted to hear us speak in English. And so we spoke in English to them for a while. Then Guarani are very musical people. They're just unbelievably talented. And so they wanted us to sing in English. Now, I'm not a singer. But the great thing is, when it's in a different language, who knows the difference? So we sang a song. We actually sang it. My son and I sang a song. It's an old one. I decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. We sang that song in English, then in Spanish, and then in Guarani for them. Then we began to share the word, and we started clear back in Genesis, because you're starting from basic. And so we did this vast trip through the Bible. When it's all said and done, 53 people respond to receive Jesus as Lord. Today we have a church in Meskwaki. Folks, our God reigns. He has given us provision to make a difference. The authority, we can go where we need to go and know that our God is with us. And he gives us something else when we talk about provision. He gives us the Spirit. I'm going to go two ways with that this morning. The first is the fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. In other words, what are we saying? People need to see Jesus in us. That's it. If people can see Jesus in us, they're going to see what we have, and they're going to want what we have. He's given us His Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit, and as we allow God to work in our lives, with that as part of the provision to make a difference for the kingdom, people are going to see what we want, what they want. They see it in us. They see Jesus. Now, I'm here today because I live next door to a fruitcake. It's been a few years ago now. But I bought this home, and this guy, his name's Les Arnie, knows I tell the story. He was the ultimate fruitcake for Jesus. He loved Jesus. And in those days, I was an alcoholic. I was hostile towards Christians. I hadn't seen my mother in 15 years. I wanted nothing to do with him. My wife even warned him that he better leave me alone. I would probably punch him. That's the way I was. That was my life. But Les built a bridge. It's a bridge called friendship. And I used to look at him all the time because he always seemed like he's happy, always talking about Jesus. I told my wife all the time, that guy is a fruitcake. But God used him in my life. Amen. God used him in my life. And one day he invited me to go to a men's fellowship meeting to listen to the chaplain of the Portland Trailblazers speak at not a Bible school, but a junior high school. And at a junior high school, that as I'm listening, I didn't think anything about what he said. Ate my steak dinner that Les had bought me. In fact, I ate two because they were free. And then Les started sharing his testimony. When he shared his testimony, I started to cry. And I thought to myself, I'm 28 years old. I'm a man. I'm just not supposed to be doing that. And I got up, I walked away, and kind of faced the wall in the school, and as I was standing there, the pastor comes over and he says, "Hey, Doc, I hear you come from quite a religious family." Well, he knew that because my wife had rededicated her life to the Lord in November of '84. This was January 15th, 1985. When he said that, I started crying again, and he said, "Doc, God's talking to you." And I said, "I tried before and it didn't work." He said, "Tell me about it." So I told him. When I was young, my parents were getting divorced, and I told God, if he'd keep my parents together, I'd follow them always. Well, when my parents got a divorce, I blamed God, I blamed my mother, and had nothing more to do with either. He says, "Doc, you tried to bargain with God, and God doesn't make bargains." But he shared and talked to me late in the night, asked me the next day. It was the next day, January 16th, 1985, I got saved. I said yes to Jesus in a restaurant. And I want you to know I left that restaurant changed. God delivered me from my alcoholism, $500 to $600 a month alcohol problem, delivered me from my cigarettes, and delivered me from my bitterness. I called my mother until I forgave her and found out she had rededicated her life to Lord 7 years prior to that. She had never met my wife or my son, and so it began to catch up. Well, what happened there? I saw Jesus in less, the fruit of the Spirit. See, God has given us provision to make a difference in people's lives. He's given us the authority. He's given us His Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit. But there's something else we need to understand when we talk about the Spirit, and that's the power. The Bible says, "You shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you. And you shall be witnesses." It didn't say you might be or you can be if you want. It says you will be. You shall be witnesses. You see, when we need to understand we are empowered to go into all the world and preach this gospel. We're empowered to go from our neighbor's house or our house to our neighbor's house. We're empowered to make a difference in our community. Everything we need, God empowers us through His Spirit. I'll never forget years ago, and I got to go back a little bit. I was actually in Bible school, and I'd been invited. I was credentialed with the Church of the Nazarene in those days. Was invited to go to a church planners boot camp program, and went to California and was going door to door. There were 7 of us knocking on doors, and I'll never forget, sometimes my legs were shaking so bad going to the door that I didn't have to knock. They were making so much noise. Now that's an exaggeration. But I was so scared. But when the Holy Spirit begins to move in your life and work in your life, and you give yourself to Him and allow Him to empower you, guess what? He takes over. And God begins to work in us and through us. I tell everybody in Bolivia, I'm nothing but a hose. That's it. Now, don't say that, missionary. Don't say that. You're a hose. I'm a hose. You see, that's God pours in and He pours out. And all we are is, if you like, they're conduits. He uses us for His glory. He empowers us. Roxanne is a young lady that spent 6 years at the Bolivian Hope Center. She came from the prison, as we saw on the DVD, and she's been gone from home for about a year now. She, like most of our children, they're able to come back and visit us all the time. And I saw her a couple months ago. It's now been a few months ago because I've been itinerating a few months. And she proceeded to tell me that living at the Bolivian Hope Center had changed her life. She said it's a place full of love, peace, where all her needs were met. She went out and talked about having a bed and not having to go hungry. She talked about how Jesus had changed her life. Well, at the Bolivian Hope Center, she not only accepted the Lord, she got involved in ministry. Today, she continues to attend church and is serving the Lord. And she said this, and I want you to listen carefully. She says, "I will never forget us," talking about Sandy and I, "those who have both supported and visited the Bolivian Hope Center." You see, our kids know that what they have there is because of you. And Roxanne, I wanted to we said on her behalf, thank you. You've changed your life. Your support in prayer and finances, I want you to know, makes a difference. Without you, it wouldn't happen. So thank you for being part of the ministry called the Bolivia Hope Center. Deanna and Denise, our sisters at the home, they've been with us for about a year now. My best description of them are wildcats. For them, it's been a lot of strong discipline and a lot of demonstrating Jesus in their lives. God's working in their lives, and they're still in need of our prayers and need to respond to Jesus. But we begin to see them settle down and respond to His love. Today, they both call me Daddy. Their mom told me that she's seen it change their lives and wonder what was happening as her mom was in prison. Well, it's simple. It's called God's provision. You see, God loves us, folks. And He desires the very best for us and has given us everything necessary to make a difference in their lives. This last year, in January, we started at 25. We had room for 36. And every year is when it kind of fluctuates through, changes through as prisoners get out of prison. So we ended up with 25 new ones. 25 new ones that have never had discipline in their lives and have kind of done what they want to do. You can imagine what that is. I call it controlled chaos. Sometimes not so controlled. We have one of our boys that he's especially prone to hitting and kicking and biting others. And he's only about this high. This is what killed him. He's about this high, come in at 5 years old, about this thick, just a little guy, and just hits and kicks everybody. And so he's a little out of control, and the dorm parents with the mom, we try to call it a family setting. So the mom's come and got me. I played a heavy two there, and I come over, and as I'm walking up to him, here's this little guy. I'm like this giant. He takes a swing at me. Yeah, I thought this is really funny. I grabbed hold of him and picked him up like a sack of sugar and took him outside and set him down on the concrete and sat with him and talked to him. As we're going, he's asking questions. Well, now I want you to know that no matter where I go, he's pegged my leg. I got this dead weight carrying around. You see, God's working in his life. Amen. Because God loves him. God loves each one of us. Well, that's part of the provision. Everything necessary we have. But I want to move on because the time's of flying and I got to be really fast. The second is priority. What is God's priority? Is it those buildings you saw? No. It's not those buildings. Those are beautiful buildings. But those buildings are nothing more than a tool. Nothing more than a tool. God's priority is people. It's always been people. His souls, that they might come to saving knowledge of him. The Bible says this way, 1 John 2:2, the whole world. John 3:16, whosoever believes. Revelation 22:17, whosoever desires. Matthew 18:11, seeking to save that which were lost. I'm going to tell you, I want to be quick, time's a fleeting here, but Ephraim was a young man who came in about 6 years old. We knew him before that in the prison, before we had the Hope Center built. Make it a point to make time, especially birthday time, special with the kids. And so we were one-on-one with Ephraim, and as we do Bible studies and stuff, he's just a young man that's full of questions. Just wants to know more and more and more about the Bible. And I told Sandy one time years ago, he's going to be our next theologian. He's just so full of questions. Well, here a while ago, I had a lunch with one of our boys that's gone from the Hope Center in Gaston, and he says, Daddy, he says, you remember Ephraim? I said, yes. He says, you remember how he had all the questions? And I said, yes. Well, he's got all the answers now. He's 13 years old now, teaching a Sunday school class in Potosí, Bolivia. God has used him to change his life and to change others' lives. Why? Because Ephraim is God's priority. You see, we are God's priority. Then we got a young lady named Victoria. She's been with us since the Hope Center was open and many years before that in prison. Last year she left the Hope Center because her mom got out of prison, and then here, I guess it'd be like 2 years ago, because then last year we got word that her mom had abandoned her. And so we went and looked her up. We have a follow-up system with a psychologist and a social worker for a year. We follow the kids to make sure they're okay. And we ended up bringing back Victoria to Hope Center because the mom ran off and left her and went to Argentina and left her all by herself, 15 years old. Now, Victoria's a pretty young lady. She says, Daddy, she says, I know God loves you. He says, I know he loves you, but this just hurts so bad. And I said, yes, I know. And I don't have the answers to all these things, but I know I'm glad you're back here. I know God loves you, and I wish you know I love you too. Now, Victoria is a hurting young lady, but God is working in her lives to begin to see changes in her lives once again. What do you tell a young lady when she wants to know why her dad ran off first and her mother runs off later? Well, there is no easy answer to that. We just demonstrate His love. We demonstrate the love of Jesus. Victoria is doing good today. She's serving Jesus. She loves the Lord and she loves being part of the Hope Center. She knows that she's one of our kids. All of our kids, they tease me all the time. Poppy, that's Daddy. What's my name? I forgot. We get so many that it takes about 2 months before they start calling me Dad. And they just become part of our family. We have a big family today. And it's a joy to see what God is doing. You see, I want you to understand, being a Christian doesn't eliminate us from life's problems. It does not eliminate it. Saying yes to Jesus does not take away all of life's problems. But what God has promised is He will be with us. He will never leave us nor forsake us. He will carry us through. He will give us the victory. He will give us the victory. Because our God reigns. Our God reigns. So often in our lives, when we go through the tough times, our tendency is to take our hand away from Him and try to do it on our own. It's in those moments we need to reach out and grab the hand of Jesus and hold on for dear life. He's going to carry us through. He's going to give us the victory because we are His priority. He loves us. He loves us, folks. Well, we talked about provision, we talked about the priority, and I can go on and tell you stories, but I want to go to the plan. You see, it is a big task God has called us, the church, to do. But He's given us a great plan. He is not a God of confusion. He's a God of priorities. He is a God of organization. If you don't believe it, look at this creation. It shows order. It shows discipline. Well, what is God's plan? The first is simple, recognize the target. The Bible says in Matthew 19 and 12, those who are well have no need of a physician. So we go after the lost. We go after those who are hurting. We go after those that are in prison. We go after those that have been abandoned. We go after those that are trying to survive on their own. We go after those that have addiction problems. We go after those because we know that God can change your lives. We know that God, they are His priority. That's His plan. We recognize the target. We go where they're at. God did not limit us. He says to all nations. So it begins from our house to our neighbor's house. It begins in our cities. It goes to our communities. It goes around the world to all nations. And then part of the plan is to make disciples and teach. It is not good enough just to tell someone about Jesus and forget about it. They need to be discipled. We need to teach them. The enemy wants to come in and cause confusion, and so it's our job to make disciples and teach good, sound doctrine so they don't get confused. So when they're hurting and suffering, they realize that God has not abandoned them. He is there for them. And then they can in turn do what Ephraim is doing, start sharing this same glorious gospel with others. Then we have follow through, baptized in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Why? Number one, it teaches obedience. God has told us to do that. And we need to, if you love me, the Bible says, you'll keep my commandments. So that teaches obedience. But it also is an outward expression of something that has happened internally. And when we make that commitment, when we are baptized, following the Lord in baptism, we are telling the world, I have decided to follow Jesus. And there's no turning back. When I got saved, my dad was glad because I was an alcoholic, I smoked, I wasn't a good kid, wasn't a good guy. He was glad. My dad's not saved to this day. He was happy I got saved, though, because he saw this change in me. But when I made the decision to get baptized, he says, aren't you carrying this a little too far now? Well, see, he realized then that I was 100% committed. Amen. What God had done in my life, I recognized. And I was going to follow through. So that's why what God's plan is, we need to follow through with baptizing. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And the last part is working together. Together, we're unstoppable. Because we're following the captain of our salvation. We need to understand that our God reigns when we work together. We got one another to lean on. One another to carry us if it's necessary. Sometimes I want you to know that we in the ministry, pastors, missionaries, we have our low points too. And somebody needs to pick us up and help us through. That's what the family of God is for. We work together. It is watch out, world. Here we come. I want to close with this. I'm here today because this is called itineration. Itineration is once every 5th or 6th year. For us, it's been 6 years a couple times, and 5 years now a couple times. Itineration is where we are given a budget and we need to raise the budget. Our basic budget we're trying to raise is to sustain the Hope Center. The buildings are built, but we need to sustain the Hope Center. It's about $1,200 for a week to take care of our kids. We have 36 children. It works out about $133 per child per month after our lunch money. But we're trying to raise those funds. It is costly, but we can do it because our God reigns. We can do it because our family's working together, the family of God. And we can do it because people like you pray and give. But as we travel around, we drove 12 hours yesterday to come up here and share with you what God is doing. And are believing God that you're going to be a part of helping us get this budget raised. And I'm going to close with a little note written from one of our girls. She says, I love you a lot. I will never forget all you've done for me and the children of the home. You've given us love, and for me, you will always be my family. Thank you so much, and God bless you. I will always pray for you, and I'll never forget you. And she goes on to quote scripture and signs it, your daughter, Jasmine. Lots of stories and lots of victories. You don't have victories without battles. We come and share the highlights, but there are the battles. But what we've learned is our God reigns. Thank you for being a part of what God is doing, for being a part of the provision, recognizing the priority, and being a part of the plan. God bless you, and thank you.